Yeah, it was super sweet. That was like 2009 when you did that.
Yeah, it was.
You were in,
I just got back from Japan.
you were just got back from Okinawa.
Yeah, tell me about it, Jackie. I'm outnumbered. Even my cats are girls.
And it's so funny because on my mom's side, we have all girls, and I had two of my brothers passed away, but we have one brother. So he had my baby brother on my mom's side grew up with all older sisters too. And then Joe has all older sisters. Well, Abby's younger, is he? But he's got all sisters. Both of y'all were screwed.
Hey, somebody asked if Tabitha reached out, would we help? Yeah, I mean, most definitely. We're trying. We're scratching our heads trying to figure out,
How we
you
can.
know, the best way to do things is just, I mean, anyone that's paid attention to the situation knows that. And there's been a lot of people asking about, like, as far as like I think it's called 5150, where you call you have a person committed. So I've looked into it, and the thing that I'm worried about with her is that they're going to take her in, they're going to, look at her, and if she convinces them that she's
She would
fine, then they
talk her
set
way
her
out of it.
free. And anyone who's seen her talk to the police, like, before we do something like that, we're going to have to make sure that
You
we
have
have
solid proof.
enough information to keep her where she's at. Like,
Yes.
that's not something that we can do willy-nilly, because once you do that once, then you go to do it again, and then it looks like you're targeting someone. So we have to make
Right.
sure so someone asked if we can show video evidence. So yeah, I mean, like with if there's a time where she comes on and is saying things within like but the biggest problem is that we're gonna have to get to her courthouse, because the cops probably, I don't know if they'll take it over the phone or anything like that, or we would need some help with someone around her
We would
or
have to go to the
something.
courthouse there or get a lawyer here in order to be able to do it.
But
But
so, I mean, we're researching
yeah,
things that we can do, but I mean, preferably the best thing is if someday she says she wants help, and then we can offer it for her. But I mean, I really don't know exactly how we're supposed to, actually do something. But it's the second we can figure something out, we're open to ideas. It's just also keep in mind we've looked at a lot of the different ways of doing things. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm glad I finally introduced Tia to all this stuff, because there was parts of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to say anything about certain things because I didn't want to tell Tia's parts of stories. But there's a lot of information that happened when Tabitha went and stayed with her. I don't know what all Tia will want to talk about, but there's a lot of stuff that happened with her that might help with some gaps in the story, because
yeah, that's when I called your mom and told her she was crazy. And
every,
you?
everyone knows what happened with Sarah and Rebecca, and then before that there was a lady named Miss Thompson. But they were like, Miss Thompson was like the fourth or fifth person on the list that she had, kind of destroyed their livelihood. And
She came and stayed with me,
were
Wendy.
you the first, or was the rocket scientist girl the first? No, I don't know where she's at now.
No, she blocked me, so I can't. I've been watching her through everybody else's videos, and no, she's met me more than twice.
Yeah, the
We
first time
very
we met, I was what, 13
no,
or
you were
12?
little.
I was
I was
like
11.
11 maybe.
I was 11 the first time we met. You were little when I first met Dad.
Well, but when you were
'Cause-
11, I was 2 or 3, so I don't remember that.
Yes,
The
that was
first
the
time I
first time we
remember.
met. And then we stayed in touch, and then I started coming to get you for the summer when I brought y'all up there to come and stay with me. And I brought Tabitha up there to come and stay with me a couple times in Illinois. Yeah, we've met way more than twice, though.
But yes, so the first time I remember, I was 11 or 12, and
No,
Tia
I'm her
drove all the
older
way
sister.
down
I
to
just
pick me.
sound old.
You're not old. So.
I'm actually 4 years older than her. Look at that. We're both going to be a year older in January.
You remember the first time we met? We took Tia to a catfish place in
No,
Alabama.
that
They
wasn't
have
the
whole
first time we
catfish.
met. I
Well,
came down there to pick y'all up. Was that
mhm.
when I dropped you off or when I brought you up there
Yeah, it
to
was
stay with
I
me?
think it was when you came back.
I think it was when we came back.
Yeah, we went to
Yeah, we went.
Newlands. We have this place where they have whole catfish, and we're all ordering our food, and we're like, yeah, we'd like a whole. And Tia didn't know what she was doing, so she's like, I'll
No,
get a whole.
they're going around the table. I'd like a small hole. I'd like a large hole. I'd like a hole. I'd like two large holes. I'm looking. Everybody around the table's ordering. They come to me last. I'm sitting here looking at every single one of them like, what the heck are you ordering? What are they trying to feed me? And when I asked them, I was like, what is a hole? Kenny lost it. He was laughing so hard.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about the landlord. Somebody keeps asking about the landlord. But I was, I try to be kind of nice, but also suspicious of everyone, anyways, because I've only been on here like a month and a half, and I mean, there's, everyone, or not everyone. There's some good people out there, but a lot of people play this situation like it's a game. So like, there's very few people that I actually trust listening to on here. So I mean, as far as the landlord and Crystal and I mean, there's been a lot of people that just be careful listening to anyone. But also, I'm not here to argue or fight with anyone either. So, but yeah,
Right.
exactly, Kelly. This is,
And we ain't here to take your money.
that's the hard part is this isn't a game. And that's what,
Yeah.
anyone that's trying to play it, like, listen, if you think it's a game, then you're playing the wrong person. Like, y'all don't know who you're playing. Like, not me. I'm not going to do nothing. But I'm talking about the other person involved in the situation, and y'all really should, like, it's not in a mean way. Like, please be careful. Like, this is not a game, and
She is
there are
homeless.
people's lives involved,
Yeah.
and to her, it is a game, and she will destroy lives. So if you think you're gonna outplay her, she's been doing this a long time, and
Since
so I
we
mean,
were
I don't know
young.
what people's objectives are, but like, just stop. Like, my mom has spent like probably in total years crying over these situations, like nights on nights on nights that would add up to years. And so, when someone, like, what kills me is people come in and they be like, I've been watching this for 30 or 40 days, so I know the situation. Like, you have no idea. Like, 30 days, like, y'all have a small understanding, and I'm not, it's not to be mean to no one, but there's a lot of shit, and the reason we got involved is because, like, this is getting dangerous for people, and we've seen what happened before.
She's homeless by choice. She does have family that will help her. I would help her. Joe would help her. Her mom would definitely help her.
Well, let's think about the people that she's lived with. I mean, she's lived with us. She lived with my grandmother. She lived with my other grandmother. She lived with you. She lived with her friends. So, I mean, there's always been someone that, has and will help her, and not all of those people, but some of those people would still help her, and it's like, but yeah, she definitely chose that.
And the only reason the only reason Joe got on here is because she's dragging their mom through the mud. Now she's dragging him through the mud. She doesn't realize that the stuff that she's doing isn't only affecting the people that she's around. She's hurting her family too.
And I mean, for anyone that's like, oh, well, why are you making it a big deal? Like, think about this. Like, whenever I've tried to reach out to someone, whenever I
her or setting her up, I think it's wrong. This is not the way it should be done.
What tears me up is like how she was talking about Miss Anna. She's saying she did this and she did that, and it's like not once did she say, this lady gave me this amount of money, this lady cared for me day after day. Not once did she say that about you. Not once did she say that about my mom. Not once did she say that about anyone that's gone in those paths of the things they did for her. It's always just, oh, they did this and they did that. And,
Right.
Most of the things aren't even true. But even the parts that are true, it's like, you can't even say thank you while you're doing all that. Like, at least, hey, you did some good things for me,
Yeah, someone said save Peter. Yeah, I would take Peter in a
I
heartbeat.
think there's about 1,000+ people that would take Peter tomorrow if they could.
Peter was very happy here, guys. He played with his toys, and even she said he's never played with toys because I brought him a bed and toys, and he played, and he was happy. He played with my dogs, and he was happy. But I mean, think about it, guys. He's been moved around so much. He doesn't know who to trust, including her at this point.
Well, he's 8 to 12 years old, so
Yes, he's 12 years old.
he's up there.
He just turned 12 October 17th. So, yeah. It's sad.
I think he's actually 8, but yeah, she said he's 12.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen
But either
that.
way, he's an old dog. Hey, Miss Slot.
Hey, Slot.
Yeah. I hope I'm not. I feel like I'm doing a really shitty job here at this live.
No, you're not. You're not. It's a lot, Joe. It's 600 and some people in here, and the chat is rolling like crazy. So, again, I stress, if y'all have questions for him or Tia, please request a box so they can answer them. That's the best way to get your question answered. The chat is rolling so fast.
Gentle. No, people have tried to reach out to him, and no one's got any good responses from him. The same thing with that other guy that did that got her the van. They're really hard to like get an actual answer out of. So again,
Was that the cars he left in Philly?
About them personally, they could be fine. Yeah. But
Yeah.
the way they handle the situation's not really good because they're not taking the videos down. They're not, clarifying anything. They're not trying to see what all went on as far as I know. Like, they haven't reached out to me. So
That was after she left Slab City when she went to Philly.
Nerd, do you want to come up here and you can ask the questions that that people have? Because I know you probably know better than I do what the questions are that people got. But you don't have to. It's up to you or anybody that wants to come up here.
I can drop down and let Nerd come on up too.
No joke. I pay an arm, a leg, and half a body for my car payment.
Hope in the sun. What are you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, my poor daughter. My babies. My kids.
Are you okay?
No, JC just called crying. Didn't make it up there in time. She was trying to make it up there to see her before she passed.
I'm sorry.
Because they're, stuck where they're at. And not stuck, but, they can't leave until after Andrew's mom's surgery tomorrow.
How far is it?
Well, they live in North Carolina too. So I was there for them. So I got to meet her in South Carolina to get the dogs tomorrow, so they can go up there.
Stephen, question would be if the landlord knew how she was, am I assuming she's going to let her stay? No, she's already gone from there.
Yeah, my heart's breaking for my babies. Like, they love their Nana so much.
Yeah, Judy, I would like to help him, but I don't have I don't have that right. But if some reason he got where he was going to be put in a pound, I don't care where I'd have to drive. I'd go get him. Rolly. Or is that Duncan?
Yeah, do you need to go, or are you okay?
No, she's going to call me back. She was on her way home.
Okay.
She was driving.
Well, if you need to get off, or if you need anything, let me know.
Yeah.
See,
No, somebody said that somebody said Tabitha was in a hotel. I have no idea. She's blocked me, so I can't see nothing except for you guys' videos.
that's the part of dealing with Tabitha that's really difficult. Is like, we have lives too, you know what I'm saying? Like, stuff goes on, and then she like wraps everything up into where if it's not about her, it becomes about her.
Exactly.
Mom, what did you say? I'm trying to find. Oh, there she goes. No,
Hi, Lisa.
no, nobody knows yet, Mom. I'll let you know when we find something out.
Yeah. I'm going to when all this stuff is done and over, JC lives in North Carolina too. She can actually go and do some research as far as, mental health warrants or anything else like that could be beneficial.
Yes, my ex, no, the police didn't remove her.
For people asking about money, I find it really hard to believe that she doesn't just have money. Like, she makes a lot on here. Like, I mean, I know she spends it as soon as it comes in, but I find it hard to believe that she can't afford a hotel for a night or two. So someone may have given it to her, or maybe, but if you go through just common sense looking at stuff, you can see kind of how much she makes, and it's a lot. So, I mean,
I was 23 or 24 when she came to stay with me.
yeah. So I
was
16,
19,
'cause I was
20 then.
in the house.
That was when she had,
Joe, I think you got some requests down there, sweetie.
Okay, let me see.
I think that's when she was supposed to be in flight attendant school.
Not.
Hey, Miss Lot.
Hey, I didn't. No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, though.
Her mom is
I think
in
it's
here.
happening because somebody else accidentally requested earlier.
Yeah.
You can ask her mom if I'm her sister.
Yeah,
I'm dropped so somebody else can get in here.
did somebody say you're not a sister?
There's somebody in the chat called Hoppin' in the Unseen that's making comments that Tab
point, I think, like asking so many questions over and over and everyone being so invested in the story of it in some respects, I think is doing more harm than good. In some respects for people to have to kind of go over everything again. And I mean, I really want to thank Joe and Tia for like talking and sharing what you know about it so that those of us that were affected can get a little bit of like kind of closure and understand how it got to be that part.
Can we just hear from the family just this one? We all hold lives about it constantly, and we're all over in each other's lives telling the same stuff over and over and over again, how it's affected us, but we never give the family just an opportunity just to say what they want to say or answer the questions they want to answer. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Miss Lot. But I appreciate you guys though. Yeah, like I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
There's so much.
Yeah.
Been trying to wrap my head around it all week.
Jamie, what was the last thing you said? What were you talking about? I was gonna say something about that. Do you remember? Shoot.
Yeah.
So, Tia, do you mind telling the story about how when she lived with you, and you don't have to say anything you don't want to say, just the parts that
Well,
you feel like talking about?
I don't
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say real quick. What I was gonna say is the reason I like to tell the stuff out there, the reason I keep going back to the specific event of when there was a custody battle is because if you look at certain events and you'll look at the history, number one, you're going to pretty much know what's going to happen next, and you're going to pretty much know what she does and why she does it and how she does it, because that's why I think it's important to understand those kind of things, because like when they went to court, Tabitha had everything. She had child support, her rent paid, her car paid, and the reason I reached out to her was so that she did not lose the stuff that she had. That was why I reached out to her. You know, obviously I wanted to protect the children too, but from the part of her, I was like, Tabitha, I don't think you understand what you're doing, because you're going to court and you're gonna lose the things that you have, and she did not want to hear that, and she lost everything. But, you know, she don't give up. So she just moves on to the next person, and she gets them to take care of her. And then she moves on to the next person. And then eventually she gets someone to adopt her. She does the same thing to that person. You know, she reels people in like Miss Bonnie Sue that are willing to listen and be there for her and give her what she asked for. And then once they stop, then they're the enemy. You know, so when, you know, a lot of the questions that y'all ask, they're answered by this, you know, it's a very common pattern that happens over and over and over again. I mean, I want to say there's at least 9 families that I know of that she's done the same thing that she did to Miss Sarah to. I mean, what she did to Tia, if Tia talk about it, it was pretty rough also. What she did to her roommate that's a brain surgeon, that was pretty rough. As far as talking to her daughter, I don't think so, but I don't want to say that she's not, because I mean, kids and their parents is a tough thing, so she might be, but not that I'm aware of. And if her daughter does talk to her, then, you know, that's her daughter's choice. But I don't think so. Can anyone recap what she did to Sarah? Sarah, do you want to talk about that? And can I ask, how was her relationship with her kid's father? Now, so Tabitha says that he did things to her, but no one saw bad behavior from him. I don't want to, the reason it's really hard to talk about stuff that I don't know for sure, especially with Tabitha, is because she'll say things that if you argue with, you really need to know what you're saying. So
I really don't want to go over my story again. It's out there. You know, I went and told my whole story. It is important. What Slot says, it is important that the family gets their story out. And it's questions to them, not to me. I'm just up here to help Joe out on the letting people in.
Until Tia gets back, does anybody got any? Mental illness isn't an excuse for bad behavior, but you have to remember that she is struggling. I agree 100%, you know, but the thing is, and I know this is harsh, but how long do you get to struggle for? You know, a year, 1, 2 years, you know, 39 years, 40 years, because I understand, you know, that she's struggling, but is she struggling? That's the question and I'm not, you know, I know it sounds harsh when you look at it like that, but when you've seen it over and over and over again, it's like, are you struggling? Because she'll cry, and then the second she gets what she wants, she's smiling and flirting. So is that a struggle or is that an act? And that's a question that only you can speculate on unless she's ever going to be honest. And it's really hard to know if that's ever going to happen.
Hey, Miss Sarah.
What's up, bud?
How you doing, Joe?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Doing all right. You know, I was thinking about something when you said something about her losing everything and the kids and all. Do you think that's where it all stems from?
So just in case I didn't tell the story right, when that happened, that was 2012. She still had the kids up until 2020. So I mean, they still were together. But yeah, definitely that was like the turning point where everything started to kind of spiral out of control, because up until then she had multiple spots that she could get money from, on top of the money she already had, and as long as her money is okay, then she seemed to be okay.
Right.
Then it just got to where she needed more and more and more and more to be okay. Because on top of everything she was getting from him, she was getting thousands of dollars from her grandmother every month. She was getting it from my mom. She was getting it from anyone that would hand it to her. And you know, I don't know what she does with it.
Well, I just feel like, you know, there's we're a product of our environment, you know, as children.
Mm-hmm.
So when we either take a bad or good event and we make it good or bad in our life. So, you know, I think my take on it was that something triggered the behavior, and I think maybe her losing everything might have done that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's just hard to tell because she never lost everything for a long period of time. And the thing is she's lost everything a lot, but within a week or two, she has it back. I mean, you know, so as far as the material things, which is what she cares about, and I think that's the biggest issue is those material things seem to cloud her judgment from what's real.
Yeah.
You know, because I tell my kids and I tell myself, and I mean it, if I live in a box tomorrow, as long as my family is happy and healthy, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, you know. It really should.
Put things above people, then that's what you get.
Well, I was I was going to help out, and she flipped over something that was supposed to have been a good thing, and actually, you know, was supposed to help me substantiate the cost of her being in my camper I was going to allow her to live in. When she flipped out, I immediately declined that offer to her because, you know, I'm not going to have that kind of behavior around my son, number one. And number two, it would have been a bad probably situation because, you know,
it wouldn't have gone well.
No, and I was there and seen some of what Miss Sarah went through. Me and Miss Sarah's talked many times on the phone, and I just feel that, you know, somewhere along the line, maybe she'll get help, but maybe she won't. You know, she's going to continue to hard until she gets what she wants, and you know, and sometimes I think when there ain't nothing going on, I think a battle to raise money for me because I was going to get hit with, you know, electricity and water and things like that. And it was to help her live for 2 months and me substantiate the cost so it wasn't all coming out of my pocket. And that's what she got mad about, is because she said we used her platform to boost myself, you know, to boost myself and things like that. And I can't remember all what she said because, you know, it'd been a good minute, but that's what she got mad about. She was accusing us of using her platform to make money for me.
And if you'll notice the things she says to people, like, that's what she's doing to people. Like, oh, you're chasing clout and you're using this platform. That's what she's telling you what she's doing. She's just accusing you of it.
That's right.
That's left and right.
Yeah, she did accuse me of it, and then when she did, I said, "That's it. Yeah, you just severed the line right there." You know what I mean? So, because I wasn't gonna tolerate it, and I knew then what I saw.
That's why they said her accusation.
That would have been a pattern. Yeah, it would have been a pattern. It would have been, and I hate that. Miss Sarah, and from that moment on, and Miss Sarah can tell you, this is the truth. I told Sarah, I kept telling her, you be careful. You be careful. You know, don't do it. But Miss Sarah has a good heart, and she loves.
Well, I've always appreciated Miss Sarah's honesty because I asked her if she would have listened to me if I said something, and she said, you know, she'd like to think so, but probably not. You know, and that's what people got to understand. When you're under Tabitha's spell, you know, you'll believe a lot of stuff, and you know.
Look, I know Miss Sarah's got a lot of love for me, and I got a lot of love for her. And I'm gonna tell you right now, she didn't even listen to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a hell of a spell, and you gotta, snap out of it. And that was that was before she was with Sarah when all that happened. Yep, because I had told Miss Sarah that I was not, that offer was off the table. Because I mean, Miss Sarah was, trying to help her find a place and things like that, and so on and so on, and it was right before, Miss Sarah had moved her in, because at that point Tabitha had nowhere to go, and and Miss Sarah was trying her hardest and being vigilant to help her, and when I withdrew what I had offered, I think she had stayed where she was for a little bit, and then it come down to the wire where she had nowhere to go, and then that's when Miss Sarah had told me she was going to move her in with her, and I was like, "Don't do it." I kept telling her, "Don't do it," and that's, I'm not saying that but anything bad. It's just I just felt very uneasy, and there was something about it, and that's what I told Sarah. I said, there's just something ain't right, and that's what I kept saying, and and then here we are, current events, you know what I'm saying? So, and I don't want to keep talking about it. It's like beating a dead horse, we know what she's capable of and what she can do. And Joe, you've even said it yourself, her spell pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah, Tia's still in here. I think Tia's on the phone. I don't know if she's back.
No, I was driving home.
Okay.
I picked Jackson up from judo.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry, who is TMH? I don't
That's
think
my
I've ever
sister.
met. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's our half sister on our dad's side.
Oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Meeting a cupcake. Jackson's girlfriend made him a bunch of cupcakes. It was so sweet.
And for everybody wondering about the cloud I'm chasing, I am trying to get my puppy famous. So this is Mr. Duncan, if y'all hadn't met him.
Those particular breeds look like they ran like 100 miles an hour and hit the wall.
I love it. They're always tired, but you don't know why, because they're always napping.
Rolly's my favorite. I like to hear him snore.
We all do look alike. Our other sister looks like us too.
I think I'm the prettiest, though, but I mean, I guess it's debatable.
Them BCDs are doing it for you. You do look better with your hair short, though.
Yeah, I grew it as long as I could. Miss Sarah, the only one that got to see a picture of me in braid. Braid.
That was good.
I told Audrey to cut your hair while you were sleeping.
He liked it long. I wanted to cut my hair for like a year. Audrey wanted me to grow it.
I don't want to take
Sneak in there.
y'all's time.
Cut his hair while he's sleeping.
Hey, thank you, Bubba. It's nice to talk to you.
Yep, you too, buddy.
It's nice to meet you, Bubba.
You too. Miss Sarah, I love you, and I'll see you around.
Okay.
With me. Because I love her. I wanted to see her. I wanted to spend time with her, get to know her. Her to get to know her niece. I had just had my middle daughter at the time. And I wanted her to get to know my kids, them to get to know their aunt. And she was young, she wanted to get a job. She got a job. Even though it's something I won't do, it's a job. And I supported her. And then we ended up seeing her. We ended up seeing her very random. And, I'm not going to say I wasn't a little butthurt a bit. I was at times because I wanted to spend time with her. And it's like she was just popping in to take a shower, sleep, and then leave again, And I had come home one day and caught her coming out with my garage with one of my cousin's husbands, and put me in a very hard predicament And then she disappeared again. And then we were living, and at the time I was living with my boss. He had fallen off of a roof and had shattered his ankles. He fell 30 feet off the roof and it landed on his feet and it shattered both of his ankles. So he couldn't walk, couldn't move. He had nobody else to help him. So we moved in there. I had just had a baby and literally just had a baby the day before he fell off the roof. So moved in there to help take care of him because he had nobody to take care of him. And his girlfriend and my sister didn't exactly get along. His girlfriend was a little jealous. And I don't know why she didn't move in there to take care of him. She just popped it. I think she was using him. You know, I didn't care for his girlfriend either. But Tabitha came back one day and we got into it. And she said some stuff she never should have said. And I said some stuff I never should have said. And, you know, I regretted it what I said afterwards. I really did. And I even told her I was sorry. You know, you're my sister. I love you. The stuff that came out of her mouth pushed me to a point that it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get me to. But when she moved out, she took her stuff. She went to our dad's, went to our families, spread a whole bunch of lies that weren't true about me. And it kind of went from there. And then we started talking a little bit again, and then that was before the kids were born. And when the kids were born, she was in Virginia then. She went and got a job doing the same thing she was doing when she was in my house. And then she had her kids. And we talked through that. And 2015 was actually the last time I talked to her. My son had been injured that day. And it was pretty bad. He was at a friend's house and had chopped his thumb off. And we were dealing with all that and trying to get his thumb fixed and everything else. They were using a crossbow, and he had extremely long fingers, and his thumb, the string on the crossbow caught his thumb and took his thumb off. But she had sent me a message, said, "Mother of the Year, hope your son's okay, and I hope he gets as far away from you as he possibly can, and never sees you again."
That was right after your baby was born too, right?
We were going through the surgeries with Jackson then. So, I mean, it's been some, you know, and I told her, you're my sister regardless. You know, we both said some things that we shouldn't have said to each other. I'll be the first person to say I did. You know, I did. She's my sister, though, and neither one of us backed down. And then I was younger, and but I love her, you know. And I've been trying since then. You know, and she keeps saying, why didn't her family reach out to her while she was homeless? And why didn't her family reach out to her this and that? We couldn't because she blocked us. You know, every profile she's had, every avenue we've had to be able to have communication with her, she's blocked us from. And usually because we say something she doesn't want to hear, you know. Or the last thing I told her, you know, pull up your big girl panties and do what you got to do. And block.